All right. So hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Ming Xiang, and I'm from the Icaw Malaysia office. All right. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start by playing a short video. Okay. So please sit back and enjoy. All right. Turn up your volume, and I'm going to introduce to you who we are. All right. And what is the Icaw. Okay. All right. Sit back and enjoy while I share my screen.
Are you ready to future-proof your career with Icaw? You can kickstart a journey that is recognized and preferred by top employers globally. The Icaew qualification is for anyone with a passion for accountancy, business and finance. And there are several pathways to get you started. As soon as you leave school, you can study for the Icaew certificate in finance, accounting and business, the direct route for acquiring the Icaew qualification. While university students or graduates could enroll for the qualification during or after their degree. You may apply for credits for prior learning, also known as exemptions, or gain strategic credits at selected universities in Malaysia. What's more, you also have the opportunity to complete the Icaew qualification while being employed. Icaew Chartered Accountants are highly sought after in any industry for their expertise in business acumen and strategy. 96 of the world's 100 global leading brands employ Icaew Chartered Accountants, and 83% of FTSE companies have an Icaew Chartered Accountant on their board. You can be a part of a global network of 186,500 Icaew members and students in 150 countries and work anywhere in the world with recognition from the Chartered Accountants Worldwide and Global Accounting Alliance networks. Icaew is founded in 1880 with a royal charter and is one of the oldest professional bodies with a long history of serving the public interest and supporting members globally. As we continue to work with governments, regulators and business leaders around the world, we believe that chartered accountancy can be a force for positive change. We share our professional insight, expertise and understanding of business and finance to create a world of strong economies and sustainable future for all. Check out what our chartered accountants have to say about the Icaew experience.
Icaew carries a lot of weight in the accounting and finance world. And the reason the brand is so strong is because it produces finance leaders who think critically, act ethically, and with integrity.
The knowledge that I gained from Icaew helped me in my day-to-day work, ranging from financial reporting, tax, and how to adapt into different kind of situation at the workplace. I would say Icaew provides a very strong and solid foundation to prepare the students for the actual workplace.
My current role requires me to be fully knowledgeable in fixed asset accounting, and the ACA syllabus encompasses all of these and more.
Start your path towards becoming a chartered accountant with Icaew. For more info or to register your interest, please contact our Icaew personnel.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So thank you for all of you who are here today. All right. Okay. And thank you for taking the time to join us tonight in the evening. All right. With Sunway Test hosted by Sunway. All right. As well as I'm a guest speaker. My name is Ming Xiang from the Icaew Malaysia office in Kuala Lumpur. Now, I'm sure many of you are wondering tonight, is accountancy the best choice for the career in the future? Okay, so I'm sure many of you will have heard that over the last one year, because of the pandemic, right, the COVID-19 has affected so many businesses and so many organizations, not only just in Malaysia, but around the world. In fact, if you look at Malaysia itself, there are so many organizations that are affected by the COVID-19, and you also see organizations closing down, you see people losing their work, all right? But you seldom hear of accountants being affected when in times of crisis. And very simple, the reason is because when your organization is doing well, people will look towards accountants, especially chartered accountants, to help the organization grow, to help the organization invest, to help the organization to explore new fields. When in times of crisis, when economics are failing, all right, or in times of financial crisis right now, or when the organization is facing a challenge, again, they will look to accountants to help them to beef up their accounts, to find ways to make profit, to find ways to move forward so that they maximize their productivity. They look towards accountants to actually help them to make their businesses better or to merge their businesses so they become consolidated. So in other words, regardless whether times are good or times are bad, the business and finance career is always in demand. All right. And that's why it is one of the most resilient career in the world. Okay. So today I'm going to share with you about accountancy, especially chartered accountancy. All right. And there's a slight difference, which I'll share after in my next slide. Okay. So Icaw chartered accountants can work anywhere in any industry, right? And that's what makes you, if you take up this qualification, that's what makes you resilient. Resilient basically means that you can tahan, all right? And you can endure in any environment, in any organization, okay? So chartered accountants today can work in industries like, for example, mining. They can go into manufacturing. They can work for organizations related to energy, water, and utilities, like, for example, Tenaga Nasional, Telekom Malaysia, all right, Shabas, right? We also have chartered accountants who work for example, manufacturing, like Bosch, all right, okay? We also have chartered accountants working for plantations, like Sime Darby, IOI, engineering firms, all right? Oil and gas firms, like, for example, Petronas, Shell, ExxonMobil, and of course, technology firms like, for example, Maxis, all right, Cellcom, and so on as well. We even have chartered accountants working in the run-of-the-mill business and finance organizations like, for example, RHB Bank, CIMB, Maybank, PwC, KPMG, and so on. In other words, you can work in almost any industry, because whether you work for a hospital or you work for an engineering firm or a logistics company, they will need chartered accountants to help them structure their business and keep track of their finances. So what do chartered accountants do? So you see, an accountant, or just an accountant himself, all right, takes care of the financial health of the organization. So if you look at the boxes below, okay, accountants basically do the first three boxes, all right? They make sure that all financial records are being kept properly, all right? So in other words, they make sure that the inflow and outflow of money are all tracked properly. They do internal and external audits to make sure that money is spent properly, right? And then they budget to make sure that the organization spend within the means of the organization without the need to take loans from banks and so on. But chartered accountants go beyond that. Not just do they take care of the financial health of the organization, they go into areas like risk analysis. They do criminal audits to find out, hey, where is the fraud, right? Is there fraud happening, okay? They communicate with stakeholders, like, for example, shareholders of the company, and they help organizations to grow by investing and giving sound business advice. So that's the difference between an accountant and a chartered accountant. A chartered accountant is a business and finance specialist, right? Not only strong in the technical aspects of accounting, but they're able to do finance and business as well. So sometimes students come and ask, am I right? Do I have the right qualification? How do I know whether I'm suitable to take up accounting and finance? Well, let me share with you what employers think. Okay, so many people always assume that having a good degree is good enough. All right, having a first-class honors will guarantee me job. All right, but if you look at the current situation today, do you know that in Malaysia, right, approximately, depending on which year, 30 to 50% of graduates are unemployed, okay, are unemployed. And it's very simple. It's not because of the paper qualification. It's not because you don't have a good degree. It's because you don't have the skills that you see on your screen. Long time ago, teachers or school counselors will tell you that if you are an introvert, you don't speak much, you're always quiet, you like numbers, all right, you like maths, oh, accounting is good for you, okay? But times have changed. Times have changed. A lot of the day-to-day work of the accountants, like for example, debit, credit, number crunching, all the calculations and so on, are now all done by artificial intelligence, which I'll talk a little bit about that later, okay? It will be done by artificial intelligence. In other words, today, a chartered, especially being a chartered accountant, your role is to give advice, which means that you need to speak, you need to talk, you need to do presentations, you need to speak to clients, you need to speak to government bodies, all right? And that's why the number one skill that a lot of employers are looking for today are what we call people skills. People skills doesn't mean communication, you know. That's why you notice communication is not in here, okay? Sometimes being able to speak is not enough, because when you speak, all right, is what you are saying. But what's important is when you have people skills, it's actually making people understand you, all right? And that's important because it leads to the next skill, which is teamwork, all right? When you go and work, you won't know who you're working for. So you must have good people skills to be able to work with people that you don't know. And that's where it then helps you to make good decision making, okay? All right? On top of that, we also expect you to be honest. And that's where professionalism comes in, all right? What we call ethics. So all your pendidikan moral that you take in school has a reason one, you know, all right? Okay, and that's why pendidikan moral is actually very important, all right? Ethics is the cornerstone of every finance specialist in the world. Ethics basically means that if you see 100 ringgit on the road, all right, or you see someone drop 100 ringgit, what do? Do you keep it or do you give it back? All right. Another analogy is, imagine you're an accountant of a company, all right? You are in charge, or you are taking care of millions of ringgit, right? Do you keep it for yourself or do you spend it wisely for the organization? That's ethics, okay? Now, you will find it very strange that IT skills is one of the core skills, 6 core skills that employers are looking for, right? And you'll be wondering, I thought I'm signing up to be a business and finance specialist. Why do I need IT skills? You'll be very surprised. When you leave university next time, okay, Microsoft Excel, no matter which field you're in, whether you're in business or engineering, or you could be a chef, all right, or you could even be working in a hotel, or you'll be drilling oil in the middle of the sea, Microsoft Excel is one of the most important software you need to know. On top of that, with all the software, with all the computations and calculations all now going virtual, all right, they're all being done by artificial intelligence. Accountants today need to understand how these systems work and how this software plays a role in your daily life. Hence, IT has now become a very important part of every business and finance professional. And lastly, commercial awareness. How many of you know what's going on with the 1MDB? How many of you know that Chili's, one of the oldest restaurants in Malaysia, opened 27 years ago? One of their main branches is closing down, all right? So that's called commercial awareness. Commercial awareness means knowing what's going on around you, especially regarding business, all right? Okay, now let's move on. So starting your journey, a very common question that many parents and students also ask is that, must I study accounting in high school to be able to pursue Icaw or any of the professional qualifications? Must I study maths? Must I be good in accounting to be able to pursue a degree in accountancy? The very quick answer is no. You just need to have the interest. You need to be good in your English, and you need to be at least adequately good in your maths. All right, okay? Do you know that Icaw chartered accountants, 70% of them are not from the business and accounting background? All right. As you can see in the statistics in front of you, only 28% of Icaw chartered accountants in the world are from accounting and finance degrees or background. The rest are from various fields. And the reason is because in Icaw, we don't train you to be just an accountant. We train you to be a business and finance specialist, meaning that no matter what specialization that you come from, you're able to tap into it and use that knowledge for you to grow other organizations. Okay, I'll show you how afterwards. So there are many ways to become a chartered accountant. Okay, from after SPM, you can even start your professional qualification. Okay, or if you prefer the traditional degree route, you can then take pre-university or A-levels or STPM, take a degree, and after that, when you complete your degree, go out and work, and while you're working, you pursue your professional qualification. All right, so as you can see on this chart, which will appear again afterwards in another slide, you will notice that there are many ways to pursue accountancy. All right, now, one thing you will need to know is that to work as a certified accountant in Malaysia, in other words, to practice accountancy legally in Malaysia, you need to be a member of the Malaysian Institute of Accountants, MIA. All right, almost every country in the world has an umbrella body that governs accountants in that country. For us in Malaysia, it's the MIA, the Malaysian Institute of Accountants. In Singapore, it's the Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountants. In Indonesia, it's the Ikatan Akuntan Indonesia. So every country there's an umbrella body. And to be able to practice legally in that country, you need to be registered with that umbrella body. And in Malaysia, it is MIA. And to be part of MIA, there are two ways. Either you take our own homegrown accountancy qualification, which is MICPA, or you take Icaw, for example, a globally recognized qualification, which not only is it recognized in Malaysia, but it takes you everywhere else in the world. Okay, so I've been talking about Icaw for the last 15 minutes already. Okay, all right, so it's time for me to introduce to you who we are. So the Icaw stands for the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. So in UK, instead of having one big umbrella body, all right, we have 3 chartered accounting bodies governing different states in the whole of the United Kingdom. So there is the Institute of Chartered Accountants Scotland, there's the Institute of Chartered Accountants England and Wales, which is us, and there's the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ireland. So to sign off accounts and to certify accounts in the UK, you must be a chartered accountant. You cannot be from any other body except from a chartered accounting body. So in England and Wales, we are the authority, we are the leading chartered accountancy body. All right, and that's who we are. We are the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. We are one of the oldest professional body in the world, being established by Royal Charter in the 1880s. Today, we have offices all over Europe, all over Asia, including China, Beijing, all right, in Beijing, in Shanghai, in Southeast Asia, like Singapore, Vietnam, and of course, Malaysia as well. Okay. We have more than 156,000 chartered accountants working in 150 countries around the world, all right? And 96 of the world's 100 global leading brands like Nike, Reebok, Coca-Cola, Toyota, all right, Honda, Chevrolet, okay, Mercedes-Benz, all right, and of course, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Ernst & Young, KPMG, and so on, they all hire Icaw chartered accountants. Right? In Malaysia, more than 200 authorized training employers work with us to train future accountants. And many of the corporate leaders today, like for example, Tony Fernandez of AirAsia, are Icaw chartered accountants. Okay, and Sunway, which is one of our biggest training providers in Malaysia, and they have been offering Icaew the longest time for the last 15 years, if I'm not wrong. Okay, all right. Sunway produced one of the best Icaew graduates. They produce prize winners, and 100% of students that complete the professional level at Sunway are all employed. Icaew is the founding member and also part of Chartered Accountants Worldwide, a collection of professional bodies around the world, including Chartered Accountants in Australia and New Zealand, CANS, the Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountants, the umbrella body in Singapore, right? The South African Institute of Chartered Accountants, all right, including Ikatan Akuntan Indonesia, and so on. Being recognized by all these bodies means that an Icaew Chartered Accountant can work in any of these countries. For example, you can go to Singapore, and Icaew is the only out of the three, the chartered accounting bodies of UK, which is Ireland, England and Wales, and Scotland, are the only professional bodies recognized by the Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountants, which means that you can go to Singapore, register with ISCA, acquire a membership, and work in Singapore without taking additional qualification. Any other professional body, you will have to take additional papers with ISCA before you can work in Singapore. And that is how portable Icaew is. We are also part of the Global Accounting Alliance, which means that the Icaew is recognized in more countries, including in America, in Canada, in South Africa, Hong Kong, Japan, Taiwan, for example. Okay, so in other words, with Icaew, you can virtually work anywhere in the world. So, how do you start your journey with Icaew? So, the Icaew qualification is called the ACA. Excuse me. The ACA stands for the Association of Chartered Accountants. When you graduate with an Icaew qualification and you become a member of Icaew, you can carry the title of the ACA behind your name. So, for example, if my name is Lim Ming Xiang and I complete the Icaew qualification and become a member, I can carry my name, the ACA behind my name. So it becomes Lim Ming Xiang, ACA. And when anyone sees the acronym ACA, straight away, they will know that you are an Icaew Chartered Accountant. And what makes the Icaew qualification very unique is that to take up the qualification, it's not as simple as just opening your books, take exams and study and pass exams, that's it. It's not. To take up Icaew, not only are you as a student being involved as part of the system, we have Sunway tests, for example, as the tuition provider, teaching you the curriculum. There's Icaew providing you support as a student. There are also employers who take a role in training you to be a chartered accountant. There are 15 modules in Icaew. In other words, to become a chartered accountant, you have to complete all 15 modules, which consists of 3 levels: certificate, the first level; professional, the second level; and advanced, which is the third level. And what makes Icaew very unique is that in Malaysia, you cannot complete the final advanced level unless you are employed. All right, I repeat, you can only complete the Icaew advanced level in Malaysia only if you're employed. And that's what makes Icaew very unique, because that's where the employers come in and train you. That's why chartered accountants are always in demand, because when you complete the qualification, they know that you are already work ready and you have skills necessary to be promoted. So the fastest way to be an Icaew chartered accountant is after your SPM, you pursue the CFAP, the Icaew CFAP. The Icaew CFAP stands for the Certificate in Finance, Accounting and Business. All right. And with SPM, you can then come into the CFAP and pursue the CFAP for example, in Sunway, it's 1.5 years. It's 1 year of academic study and half a year of placement. All right. And when you complete the CFAP in 1.5 years, you will then be able to then continue on into the professional level, which is the second year of the Icaew qualification. So with just 2.5 years of study, and upon completing the professional level, you will be able to embark into the advanced level and go out and work. All right. I repeat, in other words, with just 2.5 years of studies after SPM, you will be able to hit the job market after the professional level and be fully employed. Because only if you are fully employed in Malaysia, you'll be able to complete the advanced level. All right. So this final level, when you are employed, you will be fully employed by the employer. You'll be earning a full salary. All right. And you will go under what we call a training agreement with the employer and ICAW that states that you are actually studying for your advanced level. All right. Okay. Normally, it will take you anywhere between 3, 4, sometimes 5 years to complete the last level, depending on which organization you're in. Okay. So 1.5 years of CFAP, 1 year of professional studies, and then you hit the job market after 2.5 years. So in other words, if you're 18 years old right now, after SPM, you will then hit the job market at either 20.5 years old or at 21 years old, and you will be joining the workforce together with other degree holders around you and earning a salary, a full-time salary, while at the same time pursuing the advanced level. You see how fast that is? So that is one of the unique selling point and benefit of the ICAW, which allows you to hit the job market early. Okay. So these are some of the authorized training employers that we work with in Malaysia. In other words, upon completing your professional level, any one of these firms will take you in and train you to be an ICAW chartered accountant. So we have professional firms like BDO, KPMG, Deloitte, EY, PwC, Grant Thornton, as well as firms like Baker Tilly, Morrisons, UHY. We also have banks, global banks like Maybank. How many of you know that Maybank is actually one of the Maybank is actually the biggest Malaysian bank, and it is also a global bank because it has branches all over the world, including offices in New York, London, and so on. We also work with other banks like RHB, CIMB, government-linked institutions like UEM, Tenaga Nasional, SPAT, okay, Bank Negara, Petronas. We also have students who are trained in KPJ, in healthcare, all right, in Sime Darby, Sunway Group, all right, and so on. Okay, so in other words, you can work with almost any employer in Malaysia who will take you in, sometimes even sponsor you to complete your ICAW. So a little bit of highlight. Okay, so for some of you who are listening to us tonight, parents and students, so some of the corporate leaders in Malaysia are ICAW chartered accountants. So Raja Tan Sri Datuk Sri Arshad, the recently retired chairman of Maxis, as well as director of Khazanah National, is an ICAW chartered accountant. The executive chairman of PwC Malaysia, Dato' Faiz Azmi, is also an ICAW chartered accountant. And not only that, he also represents Malaysia chartered accountants with the ICAW Council in the UK. The president and chief executive officer of Petronas, Tengku Muhammad Taufik Tengku Aziz, is also an ICAW chartered accountant. Other corporate leaders like Dato' Gan Ati, the managing partner of BDO Southeast Asia, all right, is also an ICAW chartered accountant. And just like Dato' Faiz, Dato' Gan also sits on the ICAW Council in the UK. Dato' Ralph Rashid, the managing partner of EY, is also an ICAW chartered accountant. Adrian Lee, which heads the hiring of human resource, we call it the head of people, performance, and culture at KPMG, is also an ICAW chartered accountant. We also have very prominent ladies like one Shamila, one Mohammad Saidi, the chief digital officer responsible for rolling out the IT infrastructure in Petronas, is also an ICAW chartered accountant. Miss Noel Lim, so if you listen to BFM 89.9 every day at 10 a.m., you will hear this beautiful lady, right, with a beautiful voice talking about business and finance and about business in general, all right? And she's Miss Noel Lim, all right, a presenter and producer at 89.9, and she started off her career as an ICW chartered accountant. And one of our strongest advocate, Encik Mustamil Muhammad, the CFO of Sime Darby, is also with ICAW. So as you can see, the list can go on and on and on. We have so many chartered accountants in Malaysia. There are many prominent business leaders like Tony Fernandez, who are also ICW chartered accountants. The CEO of Mr. DIY is also an ICW chartered accountant. So in other words, you can see that there are many ICW accountants in almost every organization holding very high prominent management roles. And we also have what we call prize winners. Prize winners are ICAW students who rank top 10 in the world, either for the whole program or for individual subjects. And what we have now is, as you can see in front of you, we have 3 ex-Sunway students who have done prominently very well for themselves, and they are prize winners currently working with KPMG, PwC, and EY. Sunway, over the last 15 years, has produced more than 36 prize winners who are currently employed in many organizations, not only just in Malaysia, but around the world. So if you are listening to us on a computer, please take up your mobile phone and take a screenshot of what you see in front of you. If you are listening to us on a mobile phone, please take a screenshot as well. All right. I hope you know how to screen capture your phone. All right. Okay. Because what we have are 3 articles over here, which I would like you to read after this. Okay. So if you look at the first article, the future ready career that's always in demand, you will read about members, ICAW chartered accountants and ICAW students who remain resilient even when the pandemic started in March 2020. All right. They see their friends being affected. All right. Their jobs being laid off and so on, but they remain resilient. Then you have the lady in the middle who is already a certified accountant, who holds a professional qualification, but decides that she wants to go further. And she took up the ICAW, which allows her to be recognized in more countries. And lastly, the gentleman on the right, you will read about the youngest, right? The youngest gentleman in one of the biggest pharmaceutical firm in Southeast Asia. You may have heard of it. It's called Duo Pharma. All right. And he is the head of the finance function, all right, at the young age of 22 years old. Okay. All right. So read these success stories, screenshot, read it during your leisure time after this talk. And if you have any questions, all right, after this session, you can either contact myself. My name is Ming Xiang. All right. That's my that's my office number and my email address. Or you can even contact personnel at Sunway Test, like for example, Evelyn and Chilong, who are in this call, who will be able to tell you a little bit more about ICAW. Okay. So that's the end of my presentation. And before I hand the session back over to Evelyn, all right, I would like to share another video with you, all right, about another chartered accountant. All right, so please sit back and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Shin, and I am an ICAW Chartered Accountant. As a risk management analyst in a natural and built asset design and consultancy firm, my job involves working with different stakeholders to perform the risk management testing in accordance to the risk control framework. This is to ensure corporate compliance with regulatory requirements. I also support data collection and data analytics in the Asia region. I was 19 years old when I began the ICAW CFAP in 2014. I had just completed my A-levels in Singapore and was interested to pursue something business related. My parents encouraged me to take up the ICAW ACA qualification. It was then I discovered the ICAW CFAP, a pathway that allowed me to pursue a professional qualification without first having to complete a degree. I personally felt that pursuing a professional qualification would be more beneficial. The ICAW ACA had a variety of modules from accounting to business strategy, and that really interested me. The biggest advantage of the Icaew Chartered Accountant Qualification is the prestigious recognition it offers. The comprehensive study and training program shaped me to be an adaptable, trusted business advisor who is able to pursue any career I want in any industry, no matter where I am in the world. As an ACA, my skills have been applicable in businesses such as professional services, graphic recording, and consultancy. My colleagues overseas are often surprised that I am an ICAW Chartered Accountant at such a young age. I tell them that I got a jump start on my career because I took the ICAW CFAP.
All right. So thank you very much. Thank you for still being here. All right. And I'm handing over the session over to Evelyn. And if any questions, please do not be shy. Please ask. You can either ask us in the chat box. All right. If you're shy, you just want to ask a question, you can type it in the chat box, or you can just open your mic on your microphone and ask the questions out loud. Okay. There's no wrong questions. Always remember that. All right. And over back to you, Evelyn. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ming Xiang. All right, so hope all of you actually enjoyed Ming Xiang's sharing session on the ICAW program, and then also on the career opportunities that actually you can look forward to if you take up the CFAT ICAW program. And also thank you very much also to Ming Xiang for sharing our Sunway test achievements, and also for sharing Shin. She's actually our alumni. Also thank you for sharing her story to everyone over here. All right. So onwards now, you have already learned, what is the ICAW program about and what is this qualification about, and then what's the importance of taking up a professional qualification in these type of times and future. So now actually I want to just share, continue on sharing, in what are the opportunities or how you can pursue this ICAW program, especially when you come into Sunway. All right. Now, earlier in Ming Xiang sharing, he did mention that there are a few ways that you can approach the ICAW program. One of it actually is the Certificate in Finance, Accounting and Business, which is a CFAP pathway that is after SPM. Or you can also pursue a pre-U to move up to a degree, and then later on you move up into ICAW. Now, over here at Sunway, we actually would like to encourage most of you to take up this CFAP program, because firstly, this is really the fastest path, and also it's a direct path for you to go through and directly into the ICAW program. All right, so for SPM students over here who are joining us, all right, if you want to take up the CFAP program, okay, you need to have a minimum requirement of SPM 5As. Okay, so this program actually have intakes opening in April, in July, and also in August. You can join Sunway College for the course. For those who wants to join the April intake, we understand that you do not have your SPM results yet. So don't worry, okay, no worries. Sunway, we have actually come with a very good idea whereby we can allow you to join with your trial results, or you can present your Form 4 to Form 5 results if your school has not set for the SPM trial last year. All right, we totally understand the situation in year 2020. So we do allow students to come in with your Form 4 or Form 5 result, so long as it meets the requirement of 5 A's and your English and Maths must be A. All right, so we can actually give you a conditional. You can start joining the program early so that you get a head start to move on into our ICAW program. All right, so this now you're over here, you're still waiting, for your SPM results. So when you move up to Sunway College, you actually start with the CFAP program, which is actually for 1.5 years of study. So in this 1.5 years, actually, you will undergo total of 12 subjects, and then including 3 months of work-based learning. So when you finish your CFAP program, you move on directly into ICAEW in the professional level. So this level, you would take another 1 more year to study for 6 core subjects. So once you're done in the professional, you move on to the ICAW advanced level, which is the final level that's actually done alongside a training contract. So that's why you can see, oh, why is it 3 years? Okay. Um, don't be alarmed. Okay, these 3 years, you actually will be working while at the same time completing three more subjects. For this one, I will explain further into the presentation later. Okay, and then later on, once you finish all the papers in ICAW and plus with your 3 years of working experience to fulfill that 450 days of training contract requirement, then you'll be immediately awarded the ICAW membership, and then later on you can register under the Malaysian Institute of Accountant, and then you can work as a chartered accountant in Malaysia. So this is how the path looks like entirely. Okay, from your SPM now, and then we move on to CFAP, to ICAW, the training contract, and then lastly, all to your qualification. So the whole process, okay, it would take around 5.5 years to complete, okay, to completely get the qualification. So now I'll just expand a little bit more on the structure of the CFAP for SPM students. So these are the six core subjects that you have to take in CFAP. As you can see, the subjects are like accounting, assurance, management information, business technology and finance, principle of taxation, and law. Now, what you can notice over here is there's actually only one accounting subject. Okay, because when you move up into this certificate program, okay, you are not just going to be learning about everything about accounting, but you also learn other topics like business and finance. Okay, so we do know that there's a myth outside that we want to address, that if you take all this professional accounting program, it's just going to be accounting for your whole life. So this is actually not true. When you take up this program, you also learn about all these other business and finance knowledge. That is why in the future, you can have a lot of other options to move into different type of industries, as how Ming Xiang has also explained earlier in his slides. Okay, and when you take up the CFAP program, there's also going to be another 6 more additional subjects that you have to take up. All right, these are English 1, 2, 3, okay, business mathematics, interpersonal communication, thinking skills. All of these are actually additional subjects that students are required to also take up. This would be considered the soft skills that we need to ensure that you can brush up all these, communication skills and your writing skills, because once you finish this examination on all these subjects, you will be required to go for 3 months work-based learning. So this work-based learning is something similar to like an internship. All right. So in short, you study for all these 12 subjects in 1 year and 3 months. Then you finish, you go for another 3 more months internship. And the best thing about this is that, this is the only program that you can find after your SPM that you get the opportunity to be working with like a employer. And this employer, you're not just going to be assigned to any Tom, Dick, Harry companies. You actually will be placed in an ICAW authorized training employer, which means that all these employer, they would specifically assign an ICAW mentor in the company to actually train you up for all this like work-based learning. Okay, so it's a very unique approach. It's a very practical type of experience that you can only get from this CFAP program. Okay, you'll not be able to find this type of structure in any other foundation program. Really, I kid you not. Okay, and very uniquely for this work-based learning, if you are wondering, Sunway Test actually will assist students to actually do the job placement. So we will give you the list of the ICAW training employers in Malaysia. So out of the list, you choose your favorite two companies. So Sunway will actually help you to send your application to them, and then they will call you in for interview. Okay, and some of you might be wondering, what if I do not get the offer, you see? So don't worry, for this student who may not get the offer, Sunway will continue to assist the students to actually call up the remaining companies. Okay, then actually we do a placement for you. So no matter what, pretty much when you join this program, you are very much assured that you get the job placement. Okay, this is actually the promise that Sunway gives to you. So this is the ICAW subject structure. They actually have these 3 levels. So if you come from the CFAP program, okay, good news is you do not need to take the certificate level. This certificate level would take 1 year if you move in, from other pre-U programs. So that's why if you move directly from the CFAP program, you save up this 1 year, you move directly into professional level. So professional level, you will study for these 6 subjects, typically 1 year. And then the advanced level is where you will be in a training contract for 3 years. And then subsequently in the second or third year in your working, you actually have to come back to the campus with the study leave to actually attend classes, some sort of like a part-time study. So this is actually the duration comparison as to why we always encourage students who wants to take a ICW program to start straight away from CFAP. So when you compare with the duration wise, CFAP is only 1.5 year, and later you move on to ICW for another 4 years. So as compared if you want to take up a pre-U and then a degree pathway, then you approach ICW again, it may actually prolong your study duration. Okay, so just imagine, a student who takes up ICAW, okay, by the third year over here, they actually are going to be out in the working field already. Whereas compared to degree students, they're actually still in their final year of study. And even this, when they graduate, they might still have to come back for ICW studies. So which means, ICW, those who come from the CFAP pathway, while they are already done and gotten their membership, the student who comes from a PU or degree, they may still be studying ICW. So if you also understand, nowadays you might want to make it shorter for your study duration because you want to go out and then you move on into your next step of life, which is working life. So that's why CFAP is actually one of the better pathway if you do want to shorten the duration and then you want to, move on into getting your working experience a lot faster. And then you actually be able to climb up all these corporate ladders faster as well. So scholarships, all right. We actually do offer a full scholarship if you want to take up this ICW program. It's under this Sunway Test ICW Global Accountant Scholarship. So to be eligible for this, you can only apply for this using your actual SPM. So we're looking at the 9As. 9As, if you get a combination of A minus, A, and A plus, okay, then we actually offer you a full scholarship for the CFAP program. So for the first 1.5 year, we actually cover your tuition fees and also external fees and also the registration fee to ICW. These are all will be waived. So if you do score SPM 9A plus, everything must be A plus. Okay, then we actually cover a full scholarship for your CFAP all the way until ICW. Okay, so we actually cover for your tuition fees and then also the external fees and registration fees. So ultimately, for those students with 9A plus, you actually only will be required to pay for the Sunway general fees, which for the whole 5 years, it's going to look like 5,000 ringgit only. So imagine every year you're only going to be paying 1,000 ringgit to study in a private university. All right, this is very worth it, guys. And we also know that a lot of you may not be aware. So I hope that after this session, most of you can share around this scholarship with your friends and those who actually may need the scholarship or is actually keen on taking up a professional accounting course, but they may not know about this scholarship and the result is very good. Okay, please share to them as well, because sharing is caring. Okay, and this scholarship, the best thing about this is there's no interview, okay, and there's no quota. As long as you have this SPM 9A or 9A plus, you show your result to us, we actually let you apply for this. Okay, and there's no terms and condition as well. The requirement to maintain this is you just have to make sure you pass your papers. And to pass all the paper in ICLB, you have to score 55 marks only. All right, it's really very simple. This is more of like we want to motivate more students to actually take up this ICW program through the CFAP path. Okay. So for students who actually, let's say if you score 3 A's to 8 A's in your SPM, you can still apply for the Jeffrey Chia Entrance Scholarship. So minimum, you still have to score a 3A. It can be any subject, all right? And then you get a deduction of 2,000 ringgit. And every A that you get, okay, the amount, the scholarship quantum increases by 1,000. Okay, so just a little bit facts about us. For because just now Ming Xiang also has mentioned about prize winners, you know. So thank you very much also to Ming Xiang for highlighting about this. So actually, Sunway, we are really, really very proud of our student. You know, they have managed to, done so well in their examination that they actually have gotten all these world prize winner and order of merit. So just for your info, what all these world prize winner awards are is that for these particular students, okay, when they sit for an exam sitting, they just score the highest mark in the whole world, and even compared to the students in UK. All right, and they're actually sitting for these exams in like UK syllabus, and we managed to actually get our student on top of the world. You know, this is like an Olympic gold medal thing that we should really celebrate about lah. And we also actually have students who are 10 students who also gotten this order of merit, which means that for all the 6 professional ICW papers that they set for, the total average place them usually in the top 10 or top 12 of the world. Okay, so world ranking, it's not just looking in Malaysia. We're looking out, we're looking international. All right, so we are actually very, very proud of our students' achievements. So these two students, Rebecca Wong and also Ke Hui, they're actually our latest prize winner lah. So like Rebecca, she actually managed to get she actually ranked number 6 in the whole world, because for all her 6 paper average marks, she scored 91.3%. All right. So all her paper, which means all her paper, she managed to score above 90 marks. And she's also actually she also got another award, which is the highest non-graduate student and the Simon Morris Memorial Prize. So what this means is that she actually joined us starting from her A-level studies. So as compared to most of our students, they might come in with degree, but to her, even though she did not come in with degree, she just came with an A-level. Okay, she also managed to place 6 in the whole world. So actually, this is a very good achievement, and we are very, very proud of her. And same also to Ke Hui, she actually managed to get this joint first place award. She actually scored the highest marks in the whole world for the audit assurance paper. Okay, she actually scored 95%. So, all this world prize winner, all this award is really possible for our student. And in some way here, this is what we do. We train up the student to make sure that, if their dream and desire is to reach the top of the world, this is what we'll do for them. We'll train them up. Okay, we give them extra lessons to make sure that they will really get what they wanted. Okay, yeah, so I am Evelyn. So you can see on this slide here, to the right side is actually my contact. You can reply, you can actually email me, or you can drop me a WhatsApp, or also my colleague here, Mr. Chilong. This is email and WhatsApp. I believe most of you may have received the link, the Zoom link to this session from my email. So let's say if you need more information, you can just reply to my email also. It's not auto-generated. Okay, I can reply and respond to your email. All right. So yeah, this is the end of my sharing. Yep. Oh, I see there are a lot of questions.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think there are some pertinent questions over here which I can answer as well.
Sure, sure. Come, let's go through the sessions. Can
So I
I?
think some of the questions Qilong have already answered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's one question over here which is very common, and many parents and students always ask. I'm sure Qilong and Evelyn are very familiar with this. What's the difference between ICAW, ACCA, and some of you may even have heard of CIMA, right? The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and also CPA Australia, all right, as well as our own homegrown Malaysian Institute of Certified Public Accountants, all right, MICPA. So, well, my general answer to always inquiries like that is that the professional qualification is like a car. It takes you from one place to another. All right. Okay. While some professional qualifications are strong in certain aspects of accounting and finance, like for example, CIMA, CIMA, right, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, right, as the name says, they are management accountants, means that they're very good in finance-based qualifications. All right, okay. So CIMA is very strong in one aspect. Now, ACCA, right, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, are also very good in technical skills, right? They cover a lot of technical aspects of accounting and taxation in finance, right? And similarly with CPA for Australia, which is the professional qualification for the country of Australia, all right? But what makes ICAW stand out compared to all the other qualification is number one, all right?
A lot.
Number one, only ICAW with this qualification, you will be able to carry the title of a chartered accountant. All right, okay. And a chartered accountant and a certified or public accountant is two different things. Right? Chartered accountants are trained beyond accountancy and finance, which means that one fine day, if you don't want to practice accounting or you don't want to do taxation, you don't want to do audit anymore, all right, chartered accountants can move on into advisory, into business specializations, and so on. All right. That's why if you look into the curriculum of ICAW, which was flashed by Evelyn earlier, and I also showed you our 15 papers as well, you will realize that ICAW carries and covers a lot of curriculum focusing on business strategy, business management, and so on as well. All right. Hence, that's why we train you beyond accountancy and finance. We train you to be a business and finance professional. All right. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Erica. All right. Okay. And that's what makes ICAW Chartered Accountants stand out from the other, all right, professional accountants. In fact, if you Google out, all right, and look at majority of the top organizations in Malaysia, all right, okay, you will realize that they will always have an ICAW Chartered Accountant on the board, right? For example, Bursa Malaysia, Air Asia, Petronas, right, Sundarbi, right, and so on. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Erica. And I noticed Ronnie asked the same thing as well. Okay. Erica also asked whether is there a duration limit to taking up the ICAW. Now, unlike ACCA, CIMA, and the rest where there's a time limit, okay, ICAW does not have a time limit. But what we do impose is an attempt limit, which means that for the first 12 papers of ICAW, for the first 12 modules, which is the certificate and professional level, we limit you up to 4 attempts. Means that for each individual module, you can only take up to 4 times. All right. If you have completed or you have taken your exams and you fail, and then you fail again, and then you fail again, and after you fail for the 4th time, we will have to stop you from taking ICAW. So in other words, we don't have a time limit, but we have a number of attempts limit for the first 12 papers. All right. So I hope that answers Erica's question.
Maybe just add on what Ming Xiang have said. The 4 times is actually referring to per paper. So each paper, right. Yeah, 4 times. Yeah, it's not the whole program, right. Only 4 times.
No. It's like it's each individual module.
Yeah, it's individual
each individual module.
Yeah. Just to add on what Ming Xiang has said. This is actually there's no time limit for the applied knowledge and the applied skill. The first 9 papers is when the time limit only imposed when you sit for the last 4 paper. The moment you sit for the last 4 paper, then they will ACCA will lock you for 7 years to complete the last 4 papers. Yeah. So beside the 4 papers, if you're talking about the first 9 papers, there is no ceiling and no time limits. Yeah. And also and also just to do a little bit corrections on what Evelyn had mentioned, that the entry requirements to register for Sunway, we do need your Form 5 results actually. Mean that any examinations that you have completed in Form 5, by all means any exam. But if you do not have any results in Form 5, if you just have Form 4, unfortunately we are not able to actually register you into the program. So probably you might have to wait for your SPM examinations result, then you can come and join us in the July and August intake. Yeah, just to do a little corrections on what Evelyn has said. Okay, Ming-Xiang, over to you.
All right, because Erica has a last question. All right, if I only achieve the professional level but fail to obtain the advanced level, how far could I reach in my career path? Unfortunately, not very far. I think Chilong's side there's a very loud static coming from Chilong, I think.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. Okay, so to answer Erica's question, it's just like building a Lego set. Okay, all right. So for example, if you've only completed a professional level, it's like building the Lego set halfway. You still don't have the full Lego set yet. You have not completed building it. All right. So if you have just completed your professional level, most of the organizations will ask you to continue on. All right. In other words, they will ask you to attempt to try to complete the advanced level. The good news is that there are not many Icaew students who did not complete the qualification. All right. Because number one, if you're studying at Sunway Test has got more than 15 years of experience teaching Icaew, and one of their senior lecturers is an Icaew chartered accountant himself. All right. And number two, all our authorized training employers, especially the main employers, like for example, the professional firms like PwC, EY, KPMG, Deloitte, have been training Icaew chartered accountants for years. Even our other organizations like Maybank, RHB, Sime Darby have also been training Icaew chartered accountants for years as well. And they have much experience in making sure that you pass all your modules. And that's what the training agreement is for. The training agreement is to make sure that the organization takes care of you, gives you enough time for you to then train and take for your exams. And that's where Sunway comes in to make sure that you're able to pass. They teach you with the right curriculum for you to pass the exams as well. So that's why, like what I've shown you in the slides earlier, there are 4 parties involved, and all parties play a role to make sure that you become a chartered accountant. So don't worry about that, Erica. Okay.
In actual fact, just to add on to what Ming-Xiang had said, in actual fact, our pass rate for the advanced level is actually in between 70 to 75%. It's actually very high, and the professional level ranges between 80 to 85%. So I think passing definitely is not a problem as long as you put in efforts.
And if there's no more questions, okay, all right. If there are no more questions, I want to play one last video where you will listen to PricewaterhouseCoopers on what they say, all right, about being a chartered accountant. Chilong and Evelyn, if you don't mind, can I share my screen?
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Oops, sorry, tech issue. We will answer the last question afterwards. Give me a moment. Okay, I hope you can see my screen.
PwC Malaysia's Aspiring Accountants program is tailor-made for graduates from diverse backgrounds who are keen to train and qualify as accountants, even if you don't have basics in accounting. As a matter of fact, 70% of qualified accountants from a globally recognized professional accounting body are from non-accounting backgrounds. Through this program, you will grow your career and gain varied skills which will help you prepare to be agile and fit for the future. So, let us hear from some of our people and an alumnus of PwC who are from non-accounting backgrounds as they share their experience with us.
Halfway through my science degree, I realized that I wasn't just interested in science anymore, I was actually very interested in business. I could have done an MBA, which is what most people with my background do. But really the appeal of accounting is this unique opportunity to learn about different businesses and the industries in depth, which really appealed to my curious nature.
I find my degree in chemistry relevant to what I'm doing today. While on the face of it, it actually looks like it's a completely different animal. The actual numerical, analytical, and even report writing skills that I practice on a day-to-day basis shares the same skills and competencies that I got from my degree.
How engineering has helped me is that you look at things rather differently. So we normally have an approach to look at it from a process point of view. Look at it from if you want to fix something, you want to break something, how does it operate from start to finish? So I suppose that angle sorts of helps in solving problems as well. So which is surprising because when you meet some people, they look at it and say, hey, that's different.
Another key success factor is that PwC provides a lot of training and assistance through this learning journey by providing training at every stage of my career.
I went into engineering as a base and wanting to do something else after that. So it's a norm in the UK, it's a norm when I was there. So if you look at the top statistics or the statistics of the exams in the UK, Icaew, most of them would be, the most successful ones would be the non-accountants. So it'd be the engineers and the maths, the natural scientists would be the top ones.
So why did I become an accountant after I qualified? I went to seek advice from a friend of my father's. He did me a favor because he actually sat down and explained to me what accountants did. So I went back to the UK. I applied to join one of the big accounting firms. And then I found out that I was actually among a lot of people who also did not have accounting as a first degree. In the UK, it was quite common not to have an accounting as a first degree. So I was in good company.
If you can work out the technicalities of thermodynamics, if you can work out the crazy formulas in fluid mechanics, accounting is a walk in the park.
Okay, so why I shared this video is because someone just texted me just now when we were just talking, all right, and asked whether if I'm a science student, all right, in school, whether you're STPM science or SPM science, I've not taken accounting as a subject, all right, can I take up the Icaew CFAP, all right? So the very quick answer is that if you are an accounting student, if you have taken accounts in school, in your SPM or even your A levels, yes, then you do have an advantage in the sense that you have the basics in accounting there already. But if you're a science student, because you have learned physics, chemistry, bio, or even maths, you will then also have that critical thinking to help you pick up Icaew very quickly. In other words, whether you have done accounting in your SPM or you have done science, you will catch up and meet very, very quickly. And that's why I like showing that video, because you can see that even if these people come from diverse backgrounds, they become chartered accountants at the end of the day. All right. And to answer very quickly, Lim Yi Hong's question, does the whole Icaew course consist of only professional level and advanced level? The answer is yes. It consists of the certificate, the first 6 subjects, professional, the next 6 subjects, and the last 3, which is advanced level. So all 3 levels, actually Sunway runs it. Okay, Sunway runs it, and they do it very well. The first 2, you can take it full-time, but the last level I've mentioned, you can only take the advanced level only if you're employed, which means that you need to then have a full-time job, and while you're working, then you study the advanced level, all right, either at Sunway or on your own. Okay, all right, your employers will determine that. Okay, and like what I've mentioned earlier, and Sunway has also testified as well, don't worry. When you're ready for employment, Sunway will assist, all right? And our authorized training employees will be waiting for you, okay? So I hope that answers Yi Hong's question as well.
Yeah, not just to add on what Ming Xiang said, not to worry, it's actually like, it's kind of like 100% job guarantee in a way, because we need to actually get you a job in order for you to finish your last 3 paper, so not to worry. 100% guarantee job placement. So, any more
Right.
questions from everyone? If not, then
Any
Ming-Xiang,
questions?
maybe we want to end the sessions.
Right. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate all of you staying so late up. All right. But we always find that the evening sessions are the best because there was one session that we held about 2 weeks back. It finished at about 11 o'clock. All right. Where parents and teachers were asking questions. Okay. So thank you for all of you for staying. All right. Thank you for not falling asleep. And I do hope that we see you in Sunway one day pursuing the ICAW. All right. Over to you, Chilong and Evelyn.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining, everyone. I hope to see every one of you in Sunway. Okay.
Yes.
All right. See you guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Take
See you,
good care.
everyone.
Thank you.
Stay
Good
safe.
night. Have a good
Good
weekend.
night. Thank
Good
you. Thank you
night.
for joining us.
Yeah. Have a good weekend.
Thank you
All right. Thank you.
so much.
Thanks, Inyi. Thank you
Yay,
for
we hear
joining.
your voice
Bye-bye.
at last. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Bye.
night.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mr.
Bye-bye.
Lee.
All right.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Have a
Okay,
good
good
weekend.
night.
Bye.